Hello, welcome. Welcome. This is the global community for adults who are healing CPTSD. My name is Athena, and we've been showing up here once a week for over 9 years now. It's an honor to be here with you. This YouTube channel is sponsored by the Foundation for Post-Traumatic Healing and Complex Trauma Research. And I'm so honored you've chosen to be here today with us. If you're clicking on this video and this is your very first time ever hearing my voice, I'd like to warmly welcome you to our community. What we've been doing over the last few years is we've been meeting up here. We check in with one another once a week. We have a chat stream where everyone is able to check in with one another, and we share what's been working for us in our healing journey and what really hasn't been working. For the recording portion of our time together, we've been doing some breath work, and we have a devotional or meditation from Morgan Harper Nichols. It's her artwork that you see up on the screen. We also have a healing strategy with Dr. Ariel Schwartz, intended to help us regulate our nervous system. And then we will close out our time together with our Loving the Self affirmation with Lisa A. Romano. And before we get started, I just want to pause and say hello to everyone who is here with us. Hello, Jeffrey Sherman. I'm waving back at you. Hello to you, Nadine. I love all of your heart emojis. Hello to you, John Harvey. It's so good to see you as always. Hello, Poppy. I'm waving back to you and sending you hearts for Emily. Hello to you, Midnight Blue. I'm sending purple hearts back to you. And I'm just very grateful to be here with you all. Thank you so much for choosing to be here today. As always, I will describe my setup for you. I'm sitting in my workspace, a different workspace than I sometimes am in. And my feet are propped up out in front of me. I have a pillow to support my posture. And I have a glass of water nearby. So we'll begin our time together with some box breathing. We will breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, and breathe out for 4 counts. And we will do that 4 times. A warm welcome to you, Timothy. So good to see you. Thank you to each of you for being here. So let us begin. We will inhale in 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Breathe out. 3, 2, 1. On your own now. Again. Last time together now. Breathe in 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Well done. Well done. Oh, thank you all so much. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Timothy. Thank you, Jeffrey Sherman. I am safe and I am surrounded by loved ones. And that's all I'm really ready to share right now. I do appreciate each of you so much, and I'm sending you all a hug and also gratitude. And I'm going to begin with our devotional with Morgan Harper Nichols, our meditation. Morgan, in her lovely, warm, and inviting, and safe and soothing way, is reminding us this week that we deserve care. We deserve to feel cared for. We deserve to take time for ourselves. And we deserve to feel worthy of care. For complex trauma survivors, for anyone who is healing CPTSD, it can feel difficult and sometimes quite impossible to feel worthy of care. Morgan is inviting us gently this week to consider what it might feel like to pause and allow ourselves to feel cared for. And she is reminding us that it is going to be okay. Morgan says, it's going to be okay. If this simple phrase resonates with you, I hope you can take a moment to breathe it in. And I hope you know you might not always feel like it's going to be okay, and that is okay too. Because perhaps even here, through all of life's questions, you will still know love in this life. Even here, through all the things you don't know, you can still know that there is grace to breathe through these very moments. Perhaps for everything that has changed and all that you miss, hope for tomorrow can persist. There will still be days for you to feel sunlight on your skin, to embrace the music amidst the tension, to find solace despite the noise. Please keep your mind and heart open to all of the little things that whisper to you, it's going to be okay. This is so important right now, because while so much is uncertain, this remains true. The ground is steady, beneath your feet, and the sky is vast with hope above you. But you will have to slow down to find it. You will have to push against the rushed pace of life to find what is still bringing you peace, love, and joy in this season. If you want the good things in life to be more than just good words, then dare to go beyond the words, and instead dare to look for colors, shapes, sounds, and relationships that remind you to feel it's going to be okay. It's so much more than words. It is time to feel it in your bones. There is more to this story. Carry on with an open heart. Carry on with courage. Carry on with curiosity. Carry on with the hopeful, bright light of new day that helps you slowly say, I am going to be okay. Oh, how I love Morgan. Don't you love her gentle way? She just invites us to experience expansiveness and curiosity and open-mindedness and hopefulness. I'm so grateful for her. So very grateful for her work. Hello to anyone I haven't greeted by name. Hello, furry slippers. We're going to transition into our healing strategy with Dr. Ariel Schwartz. And this week's strategy is a healing strategy that I have found to be very, 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 very helpful in my own healing journey. And it's called developing a dual awareness. Developing a dual awareness. So Dr. Ariel Schwartz is sharing with us from one of her patients. We will call her Julie. So Julie is sharing a bit of a story here, and then Dr. Ariel Schwartz shares her commentary on Julie's story. Okay, so here we go, and then we will have our healing strategy of developing dual awareness, and then we will close our time together with our loving the self affirmation. Here we go. So Julie says, I don't know what's wrong with me. I have a good life. I like my work and enjoy coming home and spending time with my dog. I should be grateful for what I have. But there are times when I suddenly feel tired and the room starts to spin. My doctor told me that he cannot find any medical reason for my vertigo, so he suggested I go to therapy. None of this is making any sense to me. End quote. So Dr. Schwartz says Julie's physical symptoms were concerning and confusing to her. At first, she wasn't convinced that therapy would make any difference. However, we began to explore her childhood history for clues about her mental and physical health. It didn't take long until she noticed an improvement in her health. Julie described an ideal childhood. Her parents were regarded in their community, and she was the oldest of 4 children. They were well dressed, attended church every Sunday, and were always well behaved. However, what Julie had never spoken about was the stress in her home behind closed doors. Her father was very strict, and her mother was often overwhelmed with the challenge of maintaining an orderly household. And as the oldest child, Julie was often responsible for her younger siblings. She grew up too quickly without a chance to play, get messy, feel sad, or be angry. She felt weighed down by the need to be perfect. When Julie would feel dizzy, foggy, or tired in our sessions, we paid close attention to these experiences. She began to notice that they were accompanied by feelings of sadness, hurt, and a deep longing for connection. As we reflected upon her childhood, she recalled moments that she had really wanted her mother's or father's attention as a little girl, but had to suppress her needs for connection. She didn't want to rock the boat. We realized that her emotional needs had been pushed down and held in her body for many years. And now there was enough space for her to finally be herself. So how about you? Do you recognize or resonate with anything in Julie's story? I know for me sometimes I'm quite puzzled by a sudden onset of exhaustion or fatigue or dizziness or just a lack of energy. And as I sit with those moments and as I work through them with my trauma therapist, I am able to identify that they are accompanied with moments of big feelings that I was never able to feel, and a deep, deep, deep sense of longing to connect. And sometimes the healing journey of complex trauma can feel very, very, very lonely. And it is also true that many of us had to grow up much too quickly, and we were not given an opportunity sometimes to play and to be a kid and be messy and get dirty or be upset about anything. So I do resonate a bit with Julie's story. How about you? Furry Slippers says yes. Emotional stunting. Absolutely yes. Perfectly put, furry slippers. Jeffrey Sherman says, yep, I relate, Athena. I'm so sorry you both can relate, and yet it is comforting to know that I'm not alone in this. Julie and I over here. John Harvey says, it's rare, but I feel tired at times in the middle of the day. Thank you for sharing, John Harvey. Nadine says, yes, Athena, I totally relate. I'm sorry you relate, Nadine. You are not alone. I'm glad you're sharing. Midnight Blue says, relate, Athena, even though I have CFS and fibromyalgia. I am so sorry for your co-occurring conditions, Midnight Blue, and I'm also sorry to know that you relate. I'm offering so much compassion to each of you who can relate, because it is such a isolating and painful feeling as well. Jennifer says, I had to grow up too fast. As a child, I had to cook for the family at an early age, or I did not eat. Oh, Jennifer, I identify with that so deeply, and I'm so very sorry. So very sorry. You deserved so much better. All of us did. Midnight Blues is nodding yes. It says, lonely and slowly. Yeah. Nadine says, there are times I just want to rest and lie down for days. Oh, me too. Oh, goodness. I remember jokingly, but you know how there's like truth in every joke? I remember jokingly saying to one of my dearest, closest girlfriends that I just needed to take a nap for the next year or two. that would really feel refreshing. I mean, there's no way anyone in the whole wide world could afford to take a nap for a year or two, because, you know, there are such things as, you know, food and bills and rent and, you know, needing to go to work. And it's so hard, you guys. It's so hard. Jennifer says, I was forced to take on adult duties and not having a childhood. Oh, me too, Jennifer. You are not alone. Thank you so much for sharing, each of you. Furry Slipper says, absolutely. Knowing we're not alone makes it not so hard and isolating. Yeah, it does. And it's interesting though, right, Furry Slippers? Because each of us wishes that no one else in the whole wide world would have had to experience it. And yet it is comforting to know that we're not the only ones. It's this duality, right? Which is right on point, because today's strategy that we're talking about is developing a dual awareness, right? Yes, it would be nice to take a nap for a year. Absolutely, yes. Yes. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Midnight Blue. So we're going to read about this dual awareness strategy, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and encourage you in any way I possibly can. So it's super important for us to remember, as with any healing strategy, okay, when we are getting ready to implement any type of healing strategy, it's super important for us to check in with ourselves and check in with the body and make sure that we are not moving too quickly or doing too much. And if we become overwhelmed or flooded with emotions or anything like that, perhaps go back to last week on the 14th of August, one video before this, and revisit that healing strategy, which is reclaiming the power of choice, because that can feel very empowering. And the reason I say that is oftentimes when we're feeling tired, lethargic, low on energy, it can be because we are feeling so overwhelmed and flooded, and oftentimes with complex trauma. Feelings of overwhelm are accompanied by feelings of powerlessness. Okay? And powerlessness is a trigger for complex trauma survivors. Remember, we're always looking at, when we're healing CPTSD, we're looking at the two different ways that it presents. We have the stuck on and stuck off. We have the anxious presentation and we have the depressive presentation. So today, we're glancing at the depressive presentation, which is the low, 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 or what is referred to in clinical settings as hypo-arousal, being stuck off, or feeling overwhelmed, or flooded, or shut down, or low on energy, lethargic, dizzy, collapse, these types of things. Okay, so if you're feeling this way, please know it's always okay for you to take what you need and leave the rest behind. Okay? And revisit the video from last week on August 14 on reclaiming the power of choice, which can feel very empowering, which is very helpful if we are feeling powerless. Okay? So, dual awareness, our healing strategy for this week, is used in both EMDR therapy and in somatic psychology, or the modalities that focus on the body, also referred to in clinical settings as a bottom-up approach versus a top-down approach, which is more like talk therapy and using words. Okay? So dual awareness strategies are used by both EMDR therapy, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, and somatic psychology or body-centric modalities. Dual awareness is a tool for safely working through traumatic memories. Dual awareness involves paying attention to cues around you that tell you you are safe, while you are simultaneously reflecting upon a challenging memory. So if you tend to have dissociative symptoms, dual awareness is an essential skill that can reduce any of your overwhelming feelings when you're thinking about your traumatic memories. I'm going to pause and just get a sip of water, okay? One moment. Okay. So for us to develop dual awareness, we will alternate our attention between our awareness of the present moment and our awareness of a difficult moment from the past. It is very wise for us to find a safe place like this group together, or even with your therapist, before considering any distressing childhood wounds. However, while we start to learn this healing strategy, we can start slowly by building the skill of dual awareness by beginning to practice with something relatively benign, like a recent stressful event. Start slowly by committing to this practice for the next few minutes. And in the future, when you practice this healing strategy, it's wise to set a timer for about 5 minutes so you do not need to look at the clock. So as we begin this practice, please make yourself very comfortable if you are able to, and find a place where you feel safe and you feel at ease. Okay? Now, let's take a moment. Look around your space you are in right now and make note of any cues you see that help you feel relaxed and calm. Now, think of a recent time that was stressful for you. Something recently. Nothing huge, just something that was a little bit stressful. Something benign. Notice the sensations in your body and the emotions you feel. Pay attention to any differences in how you are breathing or not breathing, or any changes that you may have made in your posture. After a few moments, put aside the stressful memory from recently and bring your awareness back to your surroundings. Take a deep breath and let go of any lingering distress. Let's take a deep breath together on our own now. One more deep breath together. Focus your attention on the here and now until you feel relaxed and calm. Now, mindfully alternate your attention between the stressful memory and your safety cues. Let's take one more deep breath together. As we complete this practice together, let us check in with the body. How are you feeling in the body? Are you noticing any shift in your ability to reflect upon the recent stressful moment while also being able to return to a sense of ease and calm? This may not happen the first time you explore this strategy, and that's okay. Please revisit the practice and consider increasing the length of time you spend exploring the dual awareness. And over time, notice if it is easier for you to return to a sense of safety during stressful moments in your life. And please, again, always remember, even small stressors can trigger dissociative symptoms or can lead us to feeling flooded with emotions. And if at any point you feel overwhelmed, it is always wise to honor your symptoms, stop this practice, and return to the healing strategy from last week titled Reclaiming the Power of Choice. Next week, we're going to focus on a strategy called Nourishing Your Nervous System. And it's going to help us to um, work with our parasympathetic nervous system, the one that activates when we do our deep breathing together. So we're going to work with our parasympathetic nervous system and our vagus nerve next week to create a sense of balance and calm. Okay? Well done. I'm grateful that we got a chance to do a healing strategy together. Before we do our loving the self affirmation and we close out our time together, I just want to check in with you. Yeah. Furry Slippers says we're grounding ourselves. Midnight Blue says it doesn't make me overthink it with presence. Yeah. I've been practicing this healing strategy, the dual, oh my goodness, I forgot the name of it just now. Dual awareness. I was looking at the word presence and I was like, is it dual presence? No, dual awareness. I've only been practicing this healing strategy now for about a week, but it has been helping me as long as I stay on, like Dr. Ariel, how she's encouraging us to focus on something benign that happened recently versus trying to sit with something from a long time ago, something that cuts a little deeper, that causes me to feel bigger emotions. So as long as I stick with something recent, I am able to toggle back and forth and to remain fully present and feel calm and at peace. And it's interesting to note, for me personally, I don't know about each of you, but I am most able to access my feelings of peace and ease in the mornings. In the mornings. As soon as the afternoon and evening come, I have a much greater difficulty experiencing peace and ease. I don't know about you, but that's just, I don't know, perhaps the way my circadian rhythm works. But yeah, so I find that interesting. I can definitely access peace and ease more so in the morning. And then I believe as soon as the late morning, early afternoon hits, I feel a bit of overwhelm. And then I feel like exhaustion and like I need to collapse by the end of the day. And interestingly, if I don't sleep well, I wake up with a sense of dread before I'm able to experience peace and ease. I'm not sure why that is. I'm still sitting with it and glancing at it and figuring it out. So, Midnight Blue says, same here, Athena. Really? Really? It's the same for you? That's so interesting. I wonder why it is. I wonder if it has something to do with our circadian rhythm, like our body, like the way our body rests, our sleep-wake schedule. I'm not sure. Nadine says, me too. Feeling of ease and peace is there for me in the morning. That's so interesting. I find it so interesting. Furry Slipper says, gotta go, beautiful people. Love and hugs and strength to all. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. We're going to finish our time together now with our loving the self affirmation. here we go. Lisa says, sometimes we can abandon our own routines and even our own lives over our preoccupation with our relationships with others. Because we don't know how to check in with ourselves, we may easily get caught up in the lives of others. And because we may have needed to be hypervigilant as a survival strategy, we may not easily recognize how necessary it is to detach. When we are hyper-focused on someone else, we are not able to set boundaries. So today, I am willing to check in with myself. I'm willing to listen to my inner child, and I am willing to enforce personal boundaries. I will honor my own routines today, even if that makes the people I love angry or sad. You know, sometimes that can be hard, you guys, but we are healing. We are healing trauma. Oh, speaking of which, before I forget, I want to give you a link. So that is a link to this year's CPTSD Awareness Day. It's our 4th annual CPTSD Awareness Day. And we're doing a free writing workshop on CPTSD Awareness Day, which is September 2nd. Okay? And then you'll also have an opportunity to purchase a ticket at a greatly discounted price for all of the interviews that we recorded this year with different trauma experts. And then as a bonus, all of the dozens and dozens of interviews from all of the prior years of CPTSD Awareness Day as well. But you don't have to buy anything if that's not something that you are able to do. You can simply participate in the free writing workshop. Okay? So I'm so excited to tell you about that. And I will see you back here next Monday and every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Or if you would like to join our healing community off of social media, you can go to the link in the description section or the link in the pinned comment in the chat box, or in the comment in the chat box that I just posted. Oops. Oh, I just spammed you. I'm sorry. I hope each of you will be extra kind and extra patient and extra gentle with yourselves, because you're worth it. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Good night, everyone.